If you think graduation is always smiles, hugs, and proud parents cheering from the stands, stay with me, because some of us graduate in silence. And before this story ends, it might change how you see your own life. If you've ever felt invisible, forgotten, or alone, listen closely. And if this story touches you, like it, share it, and leave a comment so someone else knows they're not alone either. My name is Lena Carter. I was 18 years old, and this is the story of how I spent my graduation day, sitting alone in my car behind Ridgewood High School in Clearwater Falls, eating cold fries and trying not to cry. They tell you graduation is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. For most people, maybe it is. For me, it felt like proof that no one was coming. While my classmates spilled out of the gym, laughing, hugging their parents, posing with balloons and bouquets, I parked at the far edge of the lot, not hiding exactly, just hoping no one would notice I was alone. Through the fogged-up windshield, I watched families reunite, mothers wiping tears, fathers lifting kids for photos, younger siblings jumping into frames they didn't belong in but were welcome anyway. Inside my car, the silence was heavy. My cap and gown were wrinkled on the passenger seat. My diploma, something I fought 4 years for, sat unopened in my lap. I had sent invitations, one to my mom at a recovery center, one to my dad's last known address, one to my aunt who hadn't called me in over a year. No one came. I told myself I expected that, but hope is a quiet thing, and when it dies, it hurts louder than you think. People talk about broken families all the time. What they don't tell you is how quiet the world gets when no one is looking for you. My dad left when I was 6, packed a bag one morning, gone by night. No goodbye, no explanation. After that, it was just me and my mom, until it wasn't. She had her own battles, pills at first, then anything she could find. By 13, I was cooking my own dinners, walking to school alone, learning how to lie to teachers about bruises and empty stomachs. I learned how to disappear in plain sight. At 15, I got an under-the-table job at a corner market. Late nights, weekends, anything they offered. I told myself it was for savings, but really it was an excuse not to go home. When my mom was arrested the second time, I moved in with my aunt. She said it was temporary. She never really looked at me. At 17, I rented a tiny room from an older woman who liked me because I paid on time and didn't make noise. School became the only place I felt even halfway real. I wasn't popular, but I showed up. I worked hard. I joined the media club, not because I liked being seen, but because I liked watching from behind the camera. Graduation wasn't something I dreamed about. It was just a finish line, one last hill to climb. So I sent those invitations, not because I believed, but because a part of me needed to try. The ceremony itself looked normal. I walked across the stage. Headmaster Cole called my name. I smiled, shook hands, took my diploma. The gym erupted for everyone else. When my name was called, I heard a small cheer, probably a teacher. I was grateful, truly. But when I scanned the crowd, no one stood, no camera flashed, no one waved. I didn't stay for the reception. I stripped off my gown in the bathroom, grabbed cheap fast food, and parked where no one could see me. I wasn't angry, I was just tired. Tired of pretending I mattered to people who had stopped showing up years ago. That's where I was, physically and emotionally, when everything changed. Just as I lifted my sandwich for another bite, someone knocked on my window. I jumped, dropped the burger straight into my lap. Standing outside my car was Headmaster Cole, still in full graduation robes, his cap tilted slightly like he'd forgotten it was there. For a second, I thought I was in trouble. I cracked the window. "Mind if I sit with you for a minute?" he asked. He didn't wait for an answer. He folded himself into the passenger seat, robes bunching awkwardly. I shoved my backpack and crumpled gown in the back, embarrassed. "Sorry," I muttered. "It's messy." He smiled softly. "You should see my office." We sat in silence before he spoke. "I've read your records, Lena. I know what you've been carrying." I shrugged. "It's not a big deal. Other people have it worse." "Maybe," he replied, "but that doesn't make what you did any smaller." Then he said something I'd never heard out loud. "Statistically, students in your situation don't make it, but you did." That hit harder than applause ever could. Then he added quietly, "Sometimes we focus so much on who didn't show up that we forget to see who did." He started naming names. Miss Adler, who stayed late every Tuesday to help me with math, Mr. Rivera, who let me use the gym showers when our water was shut off, Mrs. Bloom from the cafeteria, who always slipped me extra food. Then he paused, and the English teacher who gave you a staff room key when you didn't have a place to sleep. My breath caught. I thought no one knew. "You weren't invisible," he said. "You just didn't have support that shows up in photo albums." For the first time, I saw it. I hadn't survived alone. I just hadn't recognized quiet love. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a card filled with handwritten messages from teachers, staff, counselors, every inch covered. Tucked inside was a small check. It's not much, just something to help with college books. I couldn't speak. For years, I thought strength meant surviving alone. But maybe strength is also letting yourself be cared for. Before leaving, he said one last thing. People are shaped by those who show up, not just the ones who leave. Then he invited me to dinner at a local diner, and for the first time all day, I didn't feel empty. I felt seen. I almost didn't go, but I did, and sitting in that diner booth, surrounded by people who chose me when they didn't have to, I finally understood something. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who stay late, the ones who notice, the ones who knock on your window. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt invisible, please hear me. You matter, even if the room is quiet, even if no one claps, and if someone knocks on your window, let them in. If this story meant something to you, like it, share it, and comment below. Someone out there needs to hear this tonight.